I would be on gigs sometimes, literally in the middle of a contract, where I would sing my heart out all night. I couldn't talk during the day because I was on vocal rest, and I would be in a cafe somewhere, sometimes after the gig, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. I would be in some kind of all-night 24-hour cafe writing, or I would set my alarm for 1 or 2 p.m. in the afternoon to get up and sit by the pool, sit in the lobby, wherever I could, to make sure that I executed the goal that I had. That's the kind of discipline that you need. What's up guys, it's your girl Phoenix Novell, and thank you so much for tuning into another episode of The Write Hustle. This episode is called How to Finish Your Writing Project. So the Write Hustle is not only about and for songwriters and writing and producing music, it's also about writing, books, writing scripts for people who are creatively inclined. And I like to just talk about that journey. So many people have projects that they've been working on forever, and that maybe they had writer's block, or for whatever reason they haven't gotten around to actually finish. And so I decided, because a lot of people had asked me about how I'm so creative, where do I get all this from? Plus work a 9 to 5 and take care of myself and live life. And I say, you do what's important to you. You make time for it. And I like to tell everybody, it doesn't matter how much time you spend on it every day, but it needs to become a part of your everyday routine. And so just to kind of simplify that so that people can see exactly what I mean when I say that, I decided to make a little video about it. So here it goes. As always, I write notes because I have a tendency as a very creative person to veer off and go down different lanes and then end up with a 20-30 minute video that could have been 10 minutes. But because I talk about this and I'm inspired by this and this piqued my, so let's get to it, okay? This is just for me to keep my focus and stay on the road that I promised you guys, okay? All right, so how to finish your writing project. I have 4 points in this, okay? If you can remember this, it should be able to help you actually execute on that dream that you had. If it's a script, if it's an idea for a game show, if it's a poetry book, if it's a children's book, if it's a novel, whatever it is, you have something to say. And a lot of people think, well, who will want to hear what I have to say? Do not ever let that be a thought, okay? Because if we think about that, then we're going based upon how many people, how many friends we have on social media, or how many people like our videos, or how many people we know, or how many people say they can. Forget that. That's not your job. Your job is to actually get your creativity out, put it on paper, and share it with the world. That's all you need to do. But so many times we get caught up in all these things that have nothing to do with us, and it sometimes plays a big part in us not finishing our project and putting it out to the world. And guess what, guys? You may finish it. You may put it out there, you may do all this work and market it and do everything you can, and you may not see the numbers right away of people buying it or people liking it or people showing any interest. But again, that's not your job. Your job is to put it out there so that you don't stand in your own way of doing something that you say you really want to do, because the right people will find it at the right time. And that's all. All right. Once you get it out there and share it with the world, you've done your job. All right. Point blank, period. Now let's get into it. Number 1. Deadlines. Deadlines are very important because it forces you to check in on a regular basis. It holds you accountable, and it makes you say, okay, look, it's almost like, if I know that something is due a certain time, I know that I have to make time in my daily schedule to give it attention. So if I do that, then it becomes more and more important to me. I find 5 minutes here or 10 minutes there because I know I'm creeping up to the deadline I set to myself. Now, realistic deadlines are important. And I say that because a lot of times I happen to be the kind of person where I get inspired to create something. And because of that initial desire and inspiration and motivation and the attractiveness of something new, I have all this energy and gumption to go and finish this, to go and start this new thing, when I've waxed and waned on energy to finish this thing because now it's not new anymore. Now it's not fresh. Now I'm required to actually stick to the storyline that I started to tell, stick to the characters, and now I'm stuck with these guys and I got to figure out something for them to do for the next umpteen pages, right? So that's sometimes what stops us in our track, because now we've already started this and we have to finish that thought to a reasonable end that still intrigues the reader. That can sometimes be intimidating, you know, and it has stopped me in my tracks, and I had to force myself to say, listen, I started this, I want to share this with the world, and the last thing I want is a pile of half-done projects on the sideline, because if that's my pattern, it's only going to get worse. So I had to, you know, sometimes you get to that place where the creative drive and the inspiration just starts to putter. And now you have to use good old-fashioned grit and hard work to actually focus and get something done. All right, so know yourself. All right, deadlines are important, reasonable ones for yourself. Just, I say take it section by section. All right, if it's a book, take it section by section. All right, I will focus on character analysis in the next 2 weeks. 2 weeks I'll have that done. And then after that, 2 weeks, so say for instance, I'm gonna give myself 6 to 9 months to actually have this book finished, if it's a book, right? 6 to 9 months to have this book finished. So I'm gonna break it into sections. Character analysis, so that I absolutely know exactly what who my characters are, what their objective is throughout the story, where they're going in this story, what I need them to do, what their personality types are, because that's gonna paint how they show up in the story. All right, that has to match. All right, so that's number one. Number two may be the setting. What year is it? What's the background? What am I actually having them walk into? Because that'll also color the way they talk. It'll color the way they're treated. It'll color the way they see the world. There are so many things that I can just break down into little sections so that I can make sure I meet my deadlines. So give yourself reasonable deadlines so that you don't become overwhelmed with life, as we all do, and then you're making excuses as to why you couldn't get it done because you didn't set realistic deadlines for yourself. Okay, that's number one. Number two, all right, some people need an accountability partner, and it can't be themselves. It can't be themselves. It has to be, it could be their parent, it could be your best friend, it could be your partner, you know, your intimate partner, it could be your child, whatever. Sometimes you need an accountability partner who holds you to those deadlines that you set for yourself. Hey, did you finish the character analysis? Let me check it out. All right. Or look, you can do it like people do their animals, where, okay, after you finish this, then you can treat yourself to the Cheesecake Factory, one of my favorite places to eat. Or you could treat yourself to a movie. Or you could treat yourself to go out, or, you know, a nice little gift, whatever. Figure out a way to motivate you to get done what you say you want to get done. Because what happens is, the longer it dredges on, the more you start to get mad at yourself, and you'll see things and see people, you know, finishing projects and achieving goals, and you'll start to be resentful of them because you know that you are not living up to your full potential. That's where jealousy usually comes from. It usually comes from you not actually doing or go after or being all that you can be. So you're looking at them like, because they fought through those moments of difficulty, and they found ways to make it happen. So you need to find a way to make it happen as well. And sometimes having an accountability partner helps you achieve that goal. I don't care. Figure out a way. Figure out a friend, whoever it is that likes to crack the whip, you know, that's not afraid to be like, hey, every other Friday, hey, every weekend, where we at? What we doing? Where we at? And I find that to be very, very beneficial for myself, because I have so many things going. Sometimes the things just fall through the crack. So I've had a couple friends in my life check in with me like, hey, where we at? Okay, good for you. And I had to show proof. Otherwise, I was like, you're just flapping your gums. Okay? All right, number three. This actually, I didn't even realize this was next, but it actually ties into the first one and to the second one, having an accountability partner. Penalty or prize, right? Where I said you reward yourself something, you know what I'm saying? Or you penalize yourself. This was another, fear is a powerful motivator as well. So if I say, okay, listen, I have to give so-and-so $150, I got to do 100 push-ups, I got to do something that I know is going to be a little pain for me to do if I do not find time to get this thing done. You have to understand the reason for this is for you to produce the thing you said you want to do. So at the end of the day, you will end up with the reward if you find a way to just get it out. All right. So even though we're coming up with all these creative ways to make you productive and to get you into doing what you say you want to do, and sometimes it's painful because you don't actually do it and put the time in to do it, the ultimate goal is for you to be that much more successful and proud of yourself for following through. All right. So if the motivation enough is not holding the idea of this finished product in your hand, let me show you. Guys, I've written nine books so far. Like 9 books so far. Legit, when I tell you. These are just the ones that I've had actually printed so far. And my 12 Band Commandments. Like, it wasn't easy. I would be on gigs sometimes, literally in the middle of a contract, where I would sing my heart out all night. I couldn't talk during the day because I was on vocal rest, and I would be in a cafe somewhere. Sometimes after the gig, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, I would be in some kind of all-night 24-hour cafe writing, or I would set my alarm for 1 or 2 p.m. in the afternoon to get up and sit by the pool, sit in the lobby, wherever I could, to make sure that I executed the goal that I had. That's the kind of discipline that you need. But if you don't naturally have that, or you have kids, now mind you guys, I don't have any kids, I'm not married, I'm the kind of person where I am 100% fully free and clear for myself. I know that's not the case for everybody. So like I said, I'm giving you ways to make sure this happens. But I'm telling you that even with my amount of dedication and ambition and everything, I still had those days where it was much easier for me to lay down in the bed and then forget about all the things I said I wanted to do. Like, oh my God, why am I so ambitious? Why do I need to write another book? Why do I need to have this idea? But it's just who I am. I want to share. And in doing that, that means that I have to put something together and be proud of it enough to have it edited and do a nice book design and think about ways to market it, because it's a product that I want to live on well after me. Right? So if you need to have an accountability partner, if you need to set up penalty and reward systems so that you execute on your plan, then do what you need to do to get it done, because the ultimate goal is for you to execute on the goal. Okay? All right. And the very final one, this is something that I would also do for myself when everything that I mentioned was hard. When my accountability partner, say for instance, it wasn't enough motivation. When my deadlines wasn't enough motivation. When I just didn't have that desire to follow through. When I had writer's block, the moments where it was just like, I was done. Oh my God, this is not necessary. I'll come back to it. Now, I'm not talking about those periods of burnout, because if you're dealing with a burnout and your body is just exhausted, your mind is exhausted, you need rest. All right, I'm not talking about that. But I'm talking about when you are fully capable and you're just being lazy, and you just be like, you know what? I'm talking about those moments, okay? And in that moment for me, what I would do is I would do something I call expanding the microscope, expanding the magnifying glass, okay? Where there's a couple things I call it, but the magnifying glass effect, which means that I put all my attention and energy and focus on the 24 hours that I had you don't have the 24 hours all in one, but in that day that I had, I maximized the shit out of that day. And what I mean by I blew it up. And I said that this is all that I have. This is all I've been given. This is all that I know that I have. And in this very moment, life is amazingly beautiful. If tomorrow if I don't get this opportunity to get up and lollygag and waste the day away doing whatever I want to, I need to know that I worked on what it is that I said I wanted to work on, and whatever it is, I need to know that this day was not wasted, and that I'm not going to take all of these dreams and unfulfilled desires and goals into tomorrow that I might not have. So for today, what can I get done? Even if it just means that I am going to sit here and review everything I wrote. If I'm going to double check the character analysis, if I'm going to look over the first and second chapters, if I'm going to, take everything that I wrote on paper and now transfer it to the computer and start a Word document, whatever. But it's in those moments of appreciation that I find myself, I can muster up some kind of get up and go, because you're now in this place of gratefulness, in this place of appreciation. And that strategy, it's called the daily momentum strategy. Look at me, I didn't give y'all a million names. Daily momentum, all right, 24-hour momentum strategy, where I am now only allowed what I have in front of me, even though that's life for real. I don't think about I'll make plans for tomorrow. I know that I said I want this book to be done. I know that this book means a lot to me, and I know the ultimate why is because I know I have information that may be useful to other people, or may entertain them in some way, or help them escape in some way, or give them something to inspire them to believe that they can write and create themselves. But people who are creators generally, and who share their creations with the world or want to, they are made for this. And I say that because some people are not. They have no desire to share their music with the world. They have no desire to get up and public speak. They have no desire to write anything. It's fine. But for those of us who are, it's almost like we have to. There's a compulsion to get our work out into the world. And look, it will be judged. We know that. But it's more valuable for us to share what we feel compelled to share, because it's just how we're built, okay? All right, so once again, deadlines, accountability partners, penalty and reward system is in place, and the 24-hour daily momentum focus, all right, where you absolutely push yourself to appreciate everything, make time for everything you say you want, figure out, I don't care if it's 5 minutes, I don't care if you spend the whole day just dedicated to everything you say you want. That 24-hour momentum is meant for you to not take any moment for granted, okay? And you may decide in that 24-hour momentum that you really don't want to write a book. That's fine, but it again helps you really put your attention and focus on your priorities. Maybe you want to spend that day of 24-hour momentum just hanging out, going out into nature, seeing the world, pampering yourself, whatever it is. But I put that down because it's been very beneficial for me, and I'm a very creatively driven person who likes to write books, who likes to draw art, who likes to do creative things. And so because I like to do it, it doesn't feel too much like work. It's just honestly, it's in those moments for me where I'm in the middle of a project, and maybe I am a Sagittarius, so there is no holding me back. I have no boundaries. But when I write a story in a novel, I have specific characters. I have now placed all of these barriers, because they're saying, hey, this character does that. They wouldn't do that. So now I have to create within this system, and immediately I'm unattracted. But again, I decided to write it. So I'm like, okay, I got to follow through. And so these little things, these little tips and tricks help me to follow through and to create this and to share this world that I've created with everybody. Yeah. Guys, of course, I made a 20-minute video like I said I was not going to. So we're going to wrap this up right now. Thank you for tuning into another The Write Hustle episode, and hopefully this helps some people out there. All right, until next time, it's your girl Phoenix Novell, and keep on being creative, keep on writing, and keep on sharing what you have to say with the world.